Hello and welcome to Around the Best Town. My name is John McCormick. I'm your host, and today we're joined by an international athlete from Fords, New Jersey, Mr. Jasdeep Singh, also known as Jessy Singh. And he was a player on the United States of America's World Cup cricket team, which just had a very fine run in the World Cup tournament, and we're going to talk about that. Welcome, Jessy.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Good, very good. So you were born in New York, went back to India at 3, came back to America at 13, and lived in Woodbridge since?
Yeah, I was born in Flushing, Queens.
Okay.
Then my father decided to take us back to India just to be around the family for a while. So yeah, I spent quite a bit of time over there and came back. Actually came back, we settled in Sayreville.
Okay.
So spent quite a few years there, grew up there, and then been in Fords for the last 6-7 years, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're 31 years old, not Woodbridge school system,
No.
the Sayreville school system.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start becoming a cricket player? I mean, every kid, I guess, like in America, every kid plays baseball.
Yeah.
Every kid probably plays
So
cricket.
little that I was obviously, came across the game in India since it's such a big sport in India, but I never really played over there. It's funny how I started. My dad had, all the friends being from Indian background, they would play in the evenings, and my dad would go just hang out with them. And my dad never played actually. So I would just tag along with them just to hang out with them. And one day they happened to be, short of one player, and they just asked me if I just want to fill in. And I, used to watch the game and always have, I found it very interesting. So that one day I just joined them. They were playing, in the backyard, and I just, started playing with them. And I guess I was naturally good. So all my dad's friends, they started insisting that, the kid is good. Maybe you should put him in some academy or some teams.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's when I happened to find out actually there's international cricket also. It wasn't as big as it is now. So little that I was like, okay, there's, the sport is big and US is growing in it. There was a junior team that had gone to World Cup in 2010. So little that, it built, turned the spark in my head that, okay, if I do well, maybe I could play for USA one day as well.
Really? So you were thinking about that in your late teens, early 20s?
Yeah, I think I was about 16, 17.
Okay.
Then I think, how the word of mouth spread. It's a very small cricket community in the US, especially being in Jersey. So, me being, one of the, talented kids in those days. So the word of mouth spread. Oh, there's a kid named Jessy. He's a fast bowler. He's good. And then one opportunity to another to another. That's how I was able to, discover my path in the game.
So you're essentially playing for travel teams, sort of. You're going to all different countries, playing in all different tournaments for several years.
Yeah, there was tournament. Eventually, there was teams within the states. I would, reach out myself just for an opportunity, paid out of my pocket many times just to go put my name out there so I can, get a bit of recognition and get more opportunities. And then it started going the other way around. Once I went and performed, the team started calling me. So basically, performing in the country sort of, opened the opportunity for me to try out for USA. And then, eventually doing well. In 2015 was the first time I, was selected for Team USA, and we went to Ireland to compete over there.
Where else have you been? In the West Sea, Uganda, some other countries? Where else have you traveled?
Actually, it'll be hard to have a track right now. I've been to quite a few places, which is, very interesting. I probably have gone around half of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So cricket is very popular all around the world. I think we just picking up in USA. Yeah, it's I think second most watched sport in the world right now after soccer. So a lot of other countries are, like it's mainstream sport over there, and I think we're hitting the mainstream medias.
So 2015, now you're 22 years old, you're hitting your prime, and you joined the Team USA. Take me from there. When did you kept playing for the country?
Right.
And then this year was the first time that we ever got into the World Cup of cricket.
Yeah, so since then we were trying to qualify for World Cup. But then I had a little setback. I torn my ACL. We were playing in California and I had to go through surgery. So that sort of put me out for a year and a half. And then I had to recover and try out again and go back in the team. So we had a couple of qualification rounds, and we actually, couldn't make it. We failed, and this was the first World Cup we qualified. So when I started playing cricket, the dream was always to represent USA in the World Cup. First, I was trying for a junior team that's under 19. I didn't get selected in that, so that sort of, it was disappointing, but it gave me motivation that okay, now I know that what I'm missing and what I can work on, and I could go ahead and represent the senior men. And then once I started representing, then it was all about we doing well and we keep progressing and make it to the World Cup. And it was a lead up for the last quite a few years. It was a bit of hard work and a lot of dedication leading up to the World Cup.
Are you with the same group of athletes the whole time for several years playing together, or do people come and go on the team?
Obviously players come and go, and I think if I have to look back since 2015, 2016, it's about 3 or 4 of us that are still part of the team that was
four,
there.
Like they say in the Yankees, the core four.
So it's few of us, and there's another, some of us have come through the homegrown system. A lot of the guys have come from other countries, have settled down here in the last couple of years. They have played cricket in their respective countries, and then they moved here, and there's a qualification system that they come through. So but I think it's about 2 or 3 of us that have grew up through the system here in US. We learned cricket here and played cricket here. I literally played cricket in the streets of New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
And then from here to to the World Cup, it's been a great journey.
Take me back to the injury. That ACL is a pretty serious injury, and it's not easy to come back from that.
Yeah, it is actually. It was misdiagnosed. So we had an important tournament in Uganda. We went over there and
you played.
Yeah, it was a relegation match, and
What does that mean?
If we hadn't won that match, we would have relegated to the lower division instead of going further up. So I thought it's just a little sprain or something. Taped up my knee and played, but little that I knew, like, something is not normal. But the game was important. Coach wanted me to play, and when you're playing for the country, the passion and is so high, you don't really feel it at the moment. But so that sort of damaged it. And then I had to go through a surgery. I had to get a surgery done. I was on a bed rest for quite a few weeks, then on crutches. Literally learned like a baby how to walk again, how to run again. But sitting here, I'm grateful that I was able to come out of it and represent the country again.
So tell me about your teammates. I see the names, a lot of Indian names, but there's also a lot of non-Indian names. Is the team mixed from all different nationalities?
Yeah, I think it's just like how the country is. We have a diverse group of players in the team, even the staff as well. Some of the guys are from Caribbean background, some are from South Asian, and some Australians, Englands, and there's quite a few guys from South Africa as well that have moved here. But that's just the diversity we have.
Are there any homegrown Americans that have played only in America? Or are they all from different countries?
I think there's 2 guys who are born here, and that have played entire cricket over here and come through the system. One is obviously me, being born here and started cricket over here. And then there's another guy named Stephen Taylor. He's from South Florida. Okay. So it's 2 of us. And when I look back all the way since 2010-11, the only face I can think of is me and him that was growing up together in this cricket journey. And then a lot of guys came along the way that moved here, or they moved here in early years, and they played a lot of cricket back in their country. So there's about 2 of us.
So who puts that all together? Is there a federation, USA World Cup Federation, that puts together the team for the World Cup?
Yeah, it's an organization called USA Cricket Association. Okay. They basically have a system now that So the International Cricket Council is the one that runs the cricket all around the world, and they have eligible criteria where player, if let's say if somebody moved from out of a country, they have to be in a country about I believe 3 or 4 years for them to be eligible to try out for USA and to be selected for USA. So majority players come out through that system, and then we have a domestic infrastructure where a lot of us play and perform, and then eventually you lead up to the national selection.
And that group picks the coach, who then picks the players?
Yeah, it's the same organization that picks. They have selectors, they have board members, CEO, just like any other organization.
Okay.
Their process, yeah.
How often is the World Cup? Is it like soccer every 4 years?
Well, it's every 2 years.
Every 2 years,
yeah.
okay.
So there's two formats. There's three formats in cricket. The main format right now is the one that we played. It's called T20.
Right.
It's the shortest format you play. And then there's another one called 50 overs. That's a bit longer. It lasts about 5 to 6 hours. And that comes every 4 years, but the one that we played, it comes every 2 years. So the next one is in 2026, and we are already qualified for the 2026 World Cup.
By virtue of your 2024 performance.
Yeah.
So when was the 2024 team that just came off the World Cup? When was that formally put together that now you're playing as a team? How many months before the actual World Cup have you been playing together, or years?
We've been playing together for quite a few years, but there's, like I said, some guys come and some guys goes, but for the last year we had a build up towards the World Cup that we were literally prepping for the World Cup. And then before the World Cup, for the last 2-3 months, we've been just together. We've been, training. We played quite a few games against Canada and Bangladesh, and then lead it up to the World Cup from, there. So that sort of was preparation leading. But the biggest challenge for us is that since we all come from, different part of the states. Some guys are from California, some from, Midwest, and then few of us from, East Coast region. It's hard to get the guys together and train over there, as financially the cricket board haven't had that sport that you could get everybody together throughout the year and sort of run the programs, which we believe now will be a different after having a success at the World Cup. So it's been mainly a lot of struggle and grind, players be doing on their own. We find our ways to practice. Let's say if I'm here, I find my own ways to do, my practice and, keep up with the preparation, because eventually, nobody's going to see that you were not able to practice, and that's the reason you didn't perform well and all. So the players take a lot of that accountability on their own and just prep in their own, states and towns, however they can.
Do you all work other jobs?
Yeah, majority of us. Yeah.
So are the other teams, India, Pakistan, are they full-time players, or they also are part-time
No,
players?
they're all full-time.
That's what I thought, yeah.
India,
I thought
Pakistan,
I read that.
they're all full-time. They come from a very, they come from countries where sport is a, number one sport. And they get a lot more money and funding and sponsorships compared to us, as we just hitting the, mainstream right now. And so that's, the financial side is a bit of, always been a trouble. It's a struggle and challenge for us. So a lot of guys, most of us have like a full-time jobs on the side, and then, we keeping up with the sport on the side. So it's basically like, 2 jobs at a time we're doing, but it's the passion that guys have, we find a ways to do things.
So now you're in the tournament and you basically shock everybody in the world by beating Bangladesh, right? That was your first win?
Right.
And then the win over Pakistan was monumental.
Right.
Nobody seemed like they ever expected you to beat an international power like Pakistan, but you did.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Obviously, it started from the first. I think it started from the first series we had against Canada first. Canada is our biggest rivals before the World Cup, so we beat them. 4-0. We won all the games against them. Usually, we go head-to-head with them. So clean sweep against them, and then Bangladesh came to play against us. And they're being a full member nation that play full-time cricket. We, as U.S. cricket, we've been called associate nation, associate members of the cricket, that we don't play as much cricket as the top 10 countries. So that's the second division we are in. So we beating Bangladesh is all started from belief over there that okay, if we beating Canada, we're gonna beat Bangladesh. And then the first game in the World Cup was against Canada. We sure knew we're gonna run through them. The second game was against Pakistan. Obviously, we knew like the whole world is not counting on us. They probably think that Pakistan's gonna come and run over us, but we knew that because the momentum we had and the self-belief we had, we knew that if one team we can take out in our group is Pakistan.
You were that confident?
We were very confident. Never, I think anybody in a team or coaching staff, we never had a doubt that we can't beat Pakistan. So we were going one game at a time, and
then Bangladesh.
Bangladesh was before that.
It was before, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Pakistan was the
Pakistan
culmination.
was the main.
That got you in the final eight.
Yeah, because we had a game. We had 4 teams in our group. One was Canada, Pakistan, India, and Ireland. So 2 teams we were counting out of all that. Canada and Ireland, we can beat them because we have played against them.
Go easy in Ireland, man. I'm Irish. Go easy now.
Yeah, but last few times we played, they beat us, we beat them. So it was more about we have played them, we know the team, and we can beat these 2 teams. But India and Pakistan was obviously our first time we were playing against them. So that was a bit challenging, but out of 2 teams, we wanted to pick one team. And obviously the Pakistan we were playing first. So we knew that if we beat Pakistan, our chances of going into next round, Super 8, is pretty much up there now. Then we just have to maintain to win one game against Ireland, be it India.
But you didn't play Ireland because of the rain, but you
Because
didn't
of
make
the
up,
rain,
you
we
split
could-
the points. What's that all about?
Yeah, so if the rain comes down, then there's no result in the game. We were not able to play since it was a hurricane in Florida. Then they don't have a reserve day for the round game. So
Well, they don't have a makeup day.
They don't have a makeup day for round games, because if they keep a makeup day for each game, there's so many games in the World Cup. The World Cup will go on for quite a few months.
So it was almost good that you guaranteed points.
Yeah, we were happy with
by the rain.
We were happy with the rain.
Right.
Yeah, if you play, you never know, the game could go either way. So at that point, obviously we were up and ready to play, but at the same time, back of our heads, we were like, okay, if we don't
hope
play,
hurricane.
it's all well and good for us, because we have 2 wins in our pocket already, and we'll just go ahead and play the next 3 games in Super 8.
And you knew you'd be there, yeah.
Yeah.
So now you get to the Super 8, which is an amazing feat for the first time ever in the World Cup.
All right.
But not so good there. West Indies, South Africa, and England.
Yeah. I think the way we started, we didn't finish as good. I think I look at it, we were doing so well, and until then, nobody counted on us, and then I think the team started doing their homework also, and it was a lot of cricket for us also, and playing against England, South Africa, and West Indies, these are also top teams. And I think cricket is a game of momentum. If a momentum shifts, in each side, things can go down south for you. So I think that's what happened in the last 3 games for us. We were disappointed that we didn't finish as strong as we started. We should have done a lot better. We were hoping to win at least 2 games out of 3 games over there, but it didn't go the way we planned. But obviously, going there first, for the first time, being in such a pressure situation, I think it was a lot of great learning for us. A lot of lessons we took out of it that we're gonna look to work on it for the next year and a half before we head into the next World Cup.
So will most of your team be in that World Cup in 2 years?
I hope so, but 2 years time is a long time. There's a lot of other good players coming up, a lot of youth coming up, which is very good. A lot of homegrown youth is coming up, so I wouldn't want to take this spot for granted for the next World Cup. But then again, it's gonna be a process all over again for you to do well in each time you play. You want to make sure that you keep performing for the country if you really want to play for the World Cup again.
But you're not going to surprise anybody in 2 years. We're now known.
I think now we're known. Now we come as a competitors instead of being underdogs. I think now we'll be looked at as a competitive because we kind of shook the world
Yeah.
after winning, game against Pakistan, and we gave India a run for their money. We were very close to win. It was a very close game. So I think that sort of put us on a world map where now that teams are going to take serious.
Where is the World Cup in 2 years?
It's in India.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2026.
So now tell me a little bit about the game. It's very confusing. It's played on a flat grass surface. Fence or no fence?
There's no fence. There's a boundary line.
Okay.
So you tend to keep that away from the fence. But yeah, how baseball is in a diamond.
Right.
Cricket is in a circle. So in cricket you can score 360. You can score behind the it's called a pitch in the middle, this
Right.
little square you see. Rest everybody's grass. Everything around is grass, and the little square is made of clay.
Right.
A little bit of grass.
Yeah,
also.
we have a few cricket fields here. They're all fenced, the ones we have, but they're
Right.
smaller. We don't have regulation.
Right. So there is in cricket you can score 360. Obviously in baseball, I'm trying to compare it to make it
Right.
understandable.
But you just have to get the ball out of that circle.
Right.
Is a run.
Right, it's a run. Well, you can, once you hit it and you see, you have a gap that it's not going towards the field, and it's safe for you to run and score. Run each time you run up and down is a one run.
Right.
So, and then each time you hit it over the boundary line, over the rope, in the air, that's 6 runs.
A 6-run home run.
Right.
I have a very tough time with that.
And each time you hit the ball on the ground, on the field, and it crossed the boundary, that's 4 runs.
Okay.
And in between that, you could run as many runs until
So if I happen to put the ball where there's no fielders,
you could run.
and it sits there and they don't get it right away, I can just keep running back and
You
forth.
can keep running back. Once they get the ball, they'll throw it to the sticks, and if they throw it to the keeper takes the sticks out. That's basically run out.
So try that one again. So you got is there what we
say
would call a pitcher, right? That throws the ball,
Right,
it bounces.
right.
That's still the pitcher. You call it the
It's
pitcher.
a bowler.
Baller. Okay.
It's called a bowler. So there's a bowler, batsman, and a wicket keeper.
So the keeper's the guy you got to get the ball to, and when he gets the
Right.
ball, you got to stop running.
Yeah, anybody can be around the sticks and run you out. There's 9 fielders in the field. There's total 11 players in the game. 1 is a keeper and the 1 is a bowler, and then there's 9 fielders in the field. Since it's a round field, and you position it different. There's positions in the in the field.
Like
and
baseball, yeah.
Like baseball. So yeah.
Everybody
hit it,
bats
Everybody bats.
in a batting order like baseball.
Yeah, everybody bats. So there's 2 innings. First, the whole team bats. Either you can get the whole team all out, you can get everybody out, or you ball all the 120 balls, which is 20 overs. Each over each over has 6 balls, so each bowler balls 6 balls at a time.
So I'm the baller, and I'm pitching to you. You get 6 different times to hit that ball. 6
Right.
different chances to hit.
Right. So once I ball those 6 balls, the next bowler comes, the
So
next
you could get
pitcher
36 runs if you hit
If you could
6
hit,
balls.
yes.
All okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you could hit, yes. So in T20 format, you'll see runs being scored like 200, 250, 220.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Those
this.
are
I
high.
don't understand
Yeah.
it, but it's crazy.
Yeah, it looks confusing once you watch 1 or 2 games. It's pretty easy concept to understand, and it's more enjoyable and interesting because you see a lot more home runs.
Right.
Right, you see balls flying all the time. There's too many uncertainties involved in the game. In baseball, you're throwing the pitch straight at the batter.
Right.
And
You
here
bounce
you have
it.
to bounce
You
it.
curve it.
Yeah, here you have to bounce it, and after hitting the surface, there's obviously each bowler has a skill. Some can turn the ball in, some can turn it away, and some with the new balls can swing it in the air. And it's pretty interesting.
So to be a good player, you've got to have speed to run as many times as you can. You've got to have speed to get to the ball so it doesn't go outside of the boundary and
Right.
be a 4-runner.
Right.
And
So
you
it's
got
a combination of speed, strength.
You got to have a good arm to throw the ball back
right,
into the keeper.
right. Right.
and you got to be able to hit the ball over the fence. So it's just
Right.
like baseball in terms of the 5 categories.
Right, definitely. You gotta have speed, strength, combination of all sort of things that an athlete requires. You have to be tactically, mentally strong to come with the tactics at, quickly at the right time. There's a lot of times it's very very short time for you to make a selection of shots you want to play, or a tactic you want to come up with it. So it's a lot of skill is
A
involved.
lot of thinking.
A lot of thinking is involved. A lot of skill is involved.
So if I hit the ball, I run to the end, and I got to look and say, is the guy going to get it and throw it to the guy, or do
That's
I run?
your judgment.
That's your judgment.
That's
Just like
your
stealing a
judgment.
base in
Just
baseball.
like stealing a base.
Okay.
It's like stealing a base. If you hit it and you think there's a fielder here, and I hit it hard enough for it to beat his right hand, then you'll suddenly take
Right.
off. But if you think no, then you'll probably want to wait until it beats him, so you are on a safer side.
Right.
Right. And then at the same time, like there's a time you want to hit hard to the ground to get maximum runs, but then there's a time that you can just play with the soft hand and get one run and get on the other side, and then the other batter comes.
And you stack
play.
your lineup with speed
Right.
guys and power
Yeah.
guys alternating,
Yeah.
probably the same way.
Right. So there's
know-
there's opening guys that can probably face the new ball well, compared to the other guys that can face the old ball better and hit the ball big.
Oh.
So probably the most technical and most technically sound and skillful guys will be up at the top 3-4 batters that can handle all the movement off the surface, in the air.
Oh, wow, that's
And-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this has been great. I want to thank you for coming in. Jessy Singh, folks, was on the USA World Cup cricket team. That's an amazing honor. He's a Woodbridge resident for the last several years in Fords with his girlfriend. We met outside Dr. Kaur, who set up this whole interview.
Oh, that's my sister-in-law. Sorry.
Oh, sister-in-law. Oh,
Yeah, that's my
somebody told me it was your
sister-in-law.
girlfriend.
No, I'm married actually. My wife.
Oh, you're married. That better
Wife's
not
name
be your
is Tejal
girlfriend.
Patel. Yeah, that's my sister-in-law.
Okay. Well, she did you a big favor, emailing us and saying she'd like to
Definitely.
get some recognition for you being an international sports star right from Woodbridge.
Definitely. Woodbridge is a great town, and I've been here for several years, and
Well, stay here.
Yeah.
When you make the World Cup
not
again,
leaving it.
when you make the World Cup in 2 years, we'll interview you
Definitely.
again.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's
Folks,
my
this
pleasure.
is Jessy Singh of the USA World Cup cricket team. Thank you for watching Around the Best Town.
Thank you.